What is up, everybody? It's Coach Lay. It is time to finally get these videos pumping out. The outdoor season is officially now here. You could kind of say last week was like a week zero, just a couple of small meets, a couple of small teams doing some stuff. But this weekend was really when things got rolling. Gonna start doing these videos weekly. Again, kind of like how I did in the indoor, kind of try to grab some interviews here and there if I can with some top performers of the week. I wanted to do a lot more with the indoor season. It just got kind of, indoor track in Mississippi is not really a thing yet. So we kind of had really spotty performances here and there. But with outdoor, we could do a whole lot more because it's obviously a lot more consistent and stuff like that. So officially week one gets underway here. We'll start off these videos kind of talking about the overall performances down the line, kind of the early state leads, the early performers that we could see some big performances coming from. And how do we start this video off without talking about Braden Pickett right out the gate? We talked about him a little bit indoor on my TikTok, and he has just, where did he come from? Obviously indoor, he had a very solid indoor campaign, but he had his outdoor opener at Pearl, the Pearl track opener, 10-4, 21-05. He is a sophomore, ladies and gentlemen, and he just completely blew onto the scene. Obviously, like I said, indoor, he put together some good performances, but to go 21-0 right out the gate is just absolutely absurd. I posted it on my TikTok. I'll also post it right here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's already a top 10 time all time in Mississippi history with that 21-0. That is just an incredible mark right out the gate there for Braden Pickett. So if I had to choose right now, the male performer of the week easily has to go to Braden Pickett for week one. It is going to be a wild season for Braden Pickett. I have a feeling he is going to turn some heads, and he's going to be a problem for years to come for Braden Pickett, and just yet another monster that Pearl has managed to find. With that being said, he'll be the performer of the week. He's going to be the early state leader in the 100 and the 200. So congrats, Braden Pickett. You're right out the gate, the performer of the week on the men's side for the boys. Well, we're going to work our way down here. We're going to talk about each individual state leader, some people in each event individually that I've kind of noticed and able to notice having better marks than they already did last season. So like I said, Braden Pickett leads the 1 and the 2. Jamarcus Garrett, for now, until Braden Pickett eventually runs a 400, is the state leader at the 400, but did put down a solid mark to start his outdoor campaign. Runs a 49-1. Jamarcus Garrett of Tylertown right out the gate. That's already a PR for him in that 400 meters. So shout out to Jamarcus Garrett for putting up a PR in his opener. Jalen Hardiman, we've talked about him indoor. He's going to be probably the best 800 guy in the state. He ran 158 indoors, if I'm not mistaken. That was already a lifetime best for him just indoor. So Hattiesburg's Jalen Hardiman is going to be a problem at 800 meters this year. Was able to get down to 159.2 at his own home meet this past weekend. So shout out to Jalen for breaking 2 already this early. Joseph Washington, who, if I'm not mistaken, is a freshman, ran a 4:34 right out the gate for the early state lead for Pascagoula at the Tony D's Invitational last night. At the 2 mile, we got Eli Seaton, a sophomore, a 2 underclassman, leading the state early in the distance events at the mile and the 2 mile for Pascagoula. So Pascagoula's got the state leader in the mile and the 2 mile with Joseph Washington, the freshman, and Eli Seaton, the sophomore. Eli Seaton and Joseph Washington looking like a powerful duo right out the gate here for Pascagoula, who's going to be a 6A powerhouse. I have a feeling this season, having some early performances there in the distance events. Carter Parks, we could take a look here, but Carter Parks opens up with the state lead. He was the indoor state leader for the 60-meter hurdles. He's going to open the outdoor season as the 110 hurdle state leader. He went 14:07, which is already a lifetime best, and he also ran a 39.8 in the 300 hurdles. So obviously Carter Parks, we knew a solid, probably the best hurdler now that Markeith has graduated, the best hurdler in the state. But at 300 hurdles, just barely beating out Carter Parks is going to be Leandre Franklin of Harrison Central, running 39.5 at that Hattiesburg meet the other day as well. So Leandre Franklin, let me take a look real quick. Let's see. That might be. It is not quite a lifetime best for him at that in the 300 hurdles, because he did run 38.3 last year at the state championships when he won the state championships last year. In the 300 hurdles, but already running a 39 in those 300 hurdles right out the gate after just the beginning of the season. So Leandre Franklin making a strong case to be the 300 hurdle favorite early for the ranks for the 7A, as well as one of the best 300 hurdlers in the state. Keaton Glasper, who was the indoor state leader and also broke the indoor state record in the high jump. He went to Clinton to start his season for the outdoor campaign and jumped 6'6", beating Jonah Banks, who was the number 2 high jumper from the indoor campaign. So we got to see the 2 best indoor high jumpers go head-to-head outdoor with Keaton Glasper and Jonah Banks. So Keaton does get the better of him in that opener, jumping 6'6" to start the season. Now let's head to the sand jumps. Harrison Central gets their second state leader on the men's side with, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, but Zachary McLaughlin. They got him still down as the state lead at 23:10, but for whatever reason, the results from the meet he jumped out this past weekend aren't in because he jumped 24:10. So he's added a whole foot already from his opener to his second meet there. So Zachary is the state leader at the long jump at 24:10. It's just not updated for some reason. So he went 23:10 to start it, and then went 24:10 in his second meet, which I believe was that Hattiesburg meet. So I'm not sure why the results are in because it's in for some events. But he did jump 24:10, which is a new lifetime best for him by a very large margin. So Zachary already putting up huge numbers in just in late February here in the early season. So he might be an early favorite to be the state's best long jumper after Kinji has graduated and moved on. Murray High School's junior, Mackenzie Callender, had a solid indoor season and opened up with a lifetime best outdoor, going 47.2 at Hattiesburg. Like I said on my TikTok earlier this week, that Hattiesburg meet was putting up some big jumps in the sands, especially on the men's side. So Mackenzie Callender out of Murray High School, the junior, is going to be jumping 47.2 to have the early state lead. Big time jump for him because I believe his personal best before that was 45 feet. And right behind him is going to be the expected state leader of Skyland Hunter that jumped 46.1 his opener. So big statement there from Mackenzie to take over the state lead early from Skyland Hunter just like that. In the pole vault, it's going to be Daniel Dickinson with a 12'6" jump from Clinton High School as the early pole vault leader. And lastly, on the men's side, heading over to the throws, of course, West Harrison's Sean Fairley is going to be the early leader, throwing 178.9, which if you ask him and you ask his family, that's not a good opener for Sean. He threw 179, which is going to put him about 15 feet ahead of the rest of the state already, and that was not the best throw for him, I'd have to imagine. So we all know Sean Fairley's trying to chase that 200-foot barrier in the discus, so even on a bad day, he's still going to lead the state by over 15 feet. So shout out Sean to just take that state lead early. And Clinton's Jonathan Rocket throws a massive 51 1 3/4 shot put at his opener there in Clinton for the Clinton arrow there, Jonathan. Clinton's going to go 1-2 in the shot put, having 2 guys already over 50 feet. So going to be a problem there in the throws is Clinton, per usual. They always have some pretty solid throwers. So that's kind of highlighting all of the early individual performers there for the state leaders on the men's side. Had some solid relay performances. Brookhaven, they went 42-1 with their opening 4x1, as well as Murray, who went 328 right out the gate Murat, I think is maybe how you pronounce that, not Murray, but Murat. They went 328 with their 4x4 right out the gate, so that's a pretty solid start for the season for some of those relays. So let's go ahead and talk about the women's side of things and then kind of wrap this video up a little bit. All right, we flip it over to the women's side of things. If we are going to choose our outdoor performer of the week for the women's side, it's got to be Simpson Academy's Lily Overby. 5:03 mile right out the gate and a 2:18.800 right out the gate, both to be the state leads early. Lily is going to be one of those girls. Last couple years, we've had some girls that have been flirting with sub 5 miles. And she is definitely on that verge. Already coming out running a 5:03 right out the gate. She's definitely on that verge of being one of those girls that can break the 5-minute mile. I think the list is only about 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken, that have done a sub 5 mile in Mississippi history. So she is definitely one of those girls that's got a chance to do that. Running down through the rest of these rankings here, Starkville's senior Tanaya Turner as the early state lead in the 100-meter, winning the Starkville opener about 10 days ago, running a 12:1. She's going to be the early state leader. Taylor's Riley McKenzie starts out with a 200-meter state leader, running a 25:25. New name for me, so shout out Riley for being the early state leader. She wins the Clinton season opener 200. Jordan Moody, right out the gate, blasts a 55.4 for the junior, winning the Hattiesburg Invitational. Big time performance there from Jordan right out the gate, because she is, you could kind of say, had a little bit of an up and down sophomore year last year. but coming out right out the gate with a new PR in the 400-meter dash in the opener is a pretty solid start there for the junior out of Oak Grove, Jordan Moody. And at the distance events, we talked about it. Lily Overby, already the state leader at the 800 and the mile. Clinton's going to lead the next 3 categories in the state rankings, as they're going to have the state leader in the 3200 at 12 minutes with Caroline Henry, and Andrea Cavett, hopefully I pronounced your name right, of Clinton is going to be the early state leader in the the 100 hurdles for the girls and the 300 hurdles for the girls. And she's from Clinton, the senior. Clinton obviously had the best hurdler in the state last year with forgot her name, but she won the 300 hurdle state title last year for 7A, and they already, again, a lock and reload like they keep doing every year on the women's side. If we head over to the jumps, we got an early state lead from D'Iberville's Kaylin McKenzie, who leads the high jump with a 5'4" jump. Definitely establishing herself as probably the high jumper, the best high jumper in the state. She was the indoor state leader as well, jumping 5'5" indoors, now jumping 5'4" outdoors. So she's showing some real consistency there to be the favorite in the women's high jump for the state this season. Harrison Central's Maya Hardy is going to take over the long jump state lead. Maya Hardy and Kaylin McKenzie battled yesterday in Pascagoula, where I was. So they both jumped the number 1 jump in the state, with Maya Hardy jumping 18:10 and Kaylin McKenzie jumping 18:7 to be second in the state. So both those girls are almost a foot over the rest of the state in the long jump. You got to be thinking both those girls are probably going to be cracking 19 by the end of the outdoor campaign. So 2 coast kids leading the sand jumps in the long jump area. Meridian's Serenity Reed, she put up some big performances indoor, is going to jump 39 again outdoor to start her outdoor campaign. The senior from Meridian won the Hattiesburg Invitational, jumping 39 4 1/4 to start her outdoor campaign. Also a solid high jumper, jumped 5 foot as well, is Serenity. We head over to the pole vault. It's going to be Clinton again leading the state here in the pole vault with Henley Presswood. She jumped 10'6" in the pole vault at the Clinton season opener. In the discus, it's going to be East Rankin Academy sophomore Jillian Breland from East Rankin. She won the Pearl opener discus, throwing 120 feet right out the gate. And then in the shot put, it's going to be to Kayla Pope of South Panola, the junior, throwing 35-11 in the shot put. So solid season opener there. Obviously, this is the first official week of the season. I think just about every team in the state, that's kind of worth noting, brought out a couple of their people. There's some people that I can think of off the top of my head here that obviously didn't compete. Jasaria Harris obviously didn't compete. Dwight Palmer didn't compete. So still got some people that have yet to compete, and I know there's some people looking to run at some indoor national championships as well for the state of Mississippi. So they have yet to compete outdoors, but we still have seen some very solid marks already to start the early outdoor campaign. I think 2 girls already almost breaking 19 in the women's long jump right out the gate is a huge. Those are huge early performances, as well as Serenity Reed jumping 39 feet already right out the gate. 51 in the men's shot put already is huge. That's a huge throw. So seeing some good performances, and then obviously Braden Pickett running 21.0 in February is absolutely ridiculous. So as the year goes on, we'll continue to try to highlight people, choose performers of the week, go through all the rankings, all those kind of things. So early in the season, this is kind of the I guess you could say, the set line to kind of see how much better we can get to start the rest of the year as the rest of the year progresses. But shout out to all the people that I mentioned in this video. If people have videos, pictures, anything from these state leading performances or anything you want to send to me, I've been getting a lot of videos on TikTok. Send me those things. I want to get those things posted. I want to talk about you guys. I want to get you guys out there. So if you've got those videos, if I mentioned you in this video, and you got the video of the thing that you did that took over the state lead and whatnot, send those things to me so that I can post them and we can get your guys' names out there. But with that being said, I guess that'll be week 1, kind of wrapping up this video, and we will see you next Sunday for week 2 to see how much more we can improve. See you guys next time. Peace.